back to me rambling on about the night gear. So let's say an average knight armor about 150 pounds on top of an average person's weight back then. Let's say 180 for an average man. That's what, 330 pounds. That's still like maybe only a quarter amount in comparison to a bear, if not half a bear's weight, especially if it's a male or a female. You know, since female bears usually tend to weigh less. So let's say an average female bear 400 or 500 pounds. You know, average male weight for a bear 600 to 800 pounds. You know, and just the bear's paw alone is bigger than your goddamn head, and that's just for a brown bear. Imagine a grizzly. A grizzly's pushing what, 800 1,000 pounds. You know, so it's like, even with that, you know, you are really going to struggle against the goddamn bear. What the hell are we entering here? Oh, Halldir's Cairn. There's a bug on my screen. Okay. Yeah, Cairn. This has another Draugr boss in here. And I believe this is the one he cloaks himself, or not cloaks, clones himself. At least one of the few Draugr bosses that actually does that. Little spirit temple thing over here. He uses magic, I believe. I don't remember, though. You get a staff from him, too. You can actually get 2 staffs from him. One he'll actually drop on the ground, if the bug actually still works. And the other one should actually be in his inventory, and they're worth quite a bit. No shit. You don't see the big spiritual beam that's right there? Because even wearing something like studded armor, if you can see the way his armor is, a bear would tear right through you. You know. I don't know, I'd find out, like, topics like that just to be very interesting to me. You know how they always say, like, your medieval European knight versus a samurai, who would win? You know, medieval knight would win. I mean, they're both fairly trained soldiers, but when it comes down to the points of gear-wise and armor-wise, a knight is going to beat a samurai usually 8 out of 10 times. And that's the reason why they also invented fencing, too. Why they invented rapiers, because it allows them to actually... rapiers were not meant to damage the opponent's armor. They were meant to damage opponents in between their armors, through like their armpits and their legs and stuff like that, where you would literally just bleed to death while you're wearing this armor and you're trying to get it off. And kind of a brutal way to go. Never thought I'd see the day we will run out of the Knife Point gang. At least the storm should cover our tracks. Vidgrod ran and I took shelter in the cave for the night. Looks like there's an old ruin here. At least there are no Draugr around. Vidgrod and Ran both want to sit up here for a while, maybe do some raiding. They ought to know better. The road deserted, especially this time of year. Plenty of better places up north. But they seem awfully intent about staying here. One even lent a hand when I went out to hunt tonight. Something's wrong. Rain hasn't said a word since she woke up this morning and just kept staring off into space. Virgo isn't much better. They sick, not like any illness I've ever heard. Just walk her out on them, but I can't seem to get up to the nerve. I feel like there's something holding me back. What is this place? We're not alone. I hear him now. Someone's speaking in my mind. Old, powerful, Halldir, though the name. He wants something from us. Needs us to stay for the magic to work. I tried to run and can't, just like them. Rain jumped off onto the Cairn. That's what Master wants. Blood sacrifice to power up to live again. His magic, I can feel it. It's pulsating in my blood. He's draining us. We'll serve him soon. Our bodies, our souls. Just like the others, they're waiting. It's my turn. Yep. That's why you gotta be careful around these old Nordic ruin areas. People think it's just full of Draugr. It's like, you do realize there's older stuff than Draugr. I'm a big nerd when it comes to this type of shit. I love the old stuff like this. I believe we have ghosts in this area too. I think there's like one that should spawn right up there. Oh, 2 of them actually. Yeah, me. Well, technically I'm undead now since I'm a vampire. And you can't have your mercenaries or your followers or your partners be vampires either, so they pretty much remain as they actually are. I believe there's one that should be spawning, yeah, right there. Goodbye. He walked right into me and did not detect me. Always a classic. Playing stealth character is so boring, there's no challenge to it. Maybe in your own opinion, but I love playing it. It's always fun to me when I can have an enemy walk literally right into me, not detect me, and still be able to one-shot them. That's funny to me. Do you? I sense you're dead. The thing is with these ghost characters, I wish that Bethesda would have done this because they're ghost characters. Their weapons and stuff like that should have been ghost weapons. But they're just like standard regular weapons. There's a lot of opportunities in Skyrim that they should have put in there. But I hope they do that. I hope they bring a lot of stuff back from Oblivion and Skyrim and put into the new Elder Scrolls game that they're working on. Stuff. I believe behind him there's a lever. And if you draw it right here. Okay, you're dead. I'll also turn my fan off too, so should be a little more quiet. You may hear the clanking sounds of my keyboard, so I want to get a mechanical keyboard, but those things are expensive. Like average $100 just for a good one. They're so goddamn noisy though, but they'll last a hell of a long ass time though. So this is where you come across your first animal-esque type of puzzle. You usually will find these later on in later tombs or dungeons, something like that. Sometimes they might give you subtle hints of like, hey, this is the animal that you need to match with this. Some of them you may actually have to figure out for yourself. And there is one in the story one where it's actually reversed, which is really damn annoying. Hello. Oh my goddamn face. I'm all here rambling on. We just got ambushed. 1 second, guys. Alright guys, so we're actually going to end the video here slightly, well actually half a time early. It just work just called and I got to run over to work real quick to help out a fellow employee. I do apologize, but this will fade over to the next part of the video. Alright, see you guys then.